Hi guys, Jared here with the Sunday Night Post. We've got another Sunday upon us. We've got some big activity in the market, and there's lots of stuff to talk about. My apologies for getting the video up late. I have been out of internet for the last several hours, so I've found a hot spot and I'm ready to go. So let's look at what's going on in the market here. We have a couple of key issues to look at. We may be witnessing the end of summer trading as we know it, which is great, fantastic news. We're about ready to see several of these markets break out of their major summer channels. Everything's been really stuck the last 2 solid months, so we're finally starting to see some breakouts. It started with, we had the leader of the pack here was the Australian dollar. Now we have some interesting things going on here because the Australian dollar did break out of its summer high there, which was about 0.8256, 60, kind of that area there. It's broken out. It's about 100 pips above that, and it's doing well. We've got some clean open and closes, and everything's looking good there. As you can see on this big run that we had here, it is right sitting at our 61.8, so that's going to be a crucial level to get through on the Fibonacci run. So going back from our kind of July high to October lows, it's making a big comeback. But there's some good news coming out of Australia, and the pair seems to continue to rally pretty well, so I don't think we're going to have too much trouble breaking that 61.8, but just know that it's there, and it's right basically at the current market price, just a few pips above this current market price, and we see that the market is kind of bouncing off that. So anyways, the Australian dollar was the first one to break the upper level of the summer highs. Next one that we've had, and it's really kind of almost iffy here, is the pound dollar. The pound dollar has for the most part broken that summer high, but it's still kind of sitting there. We see that the high here of about June 30th is still kind of holding here. We've had the market push up through it by just a couple of pips, but no clean open or close above that one yet. But it has tested the level, and it has pushed up just a little bit higher. And then for the most part, where the majority of the market activity has taken place, kind of at this 66.50 area, the market is quite a bit, not a ton above it. It's a good 70 pips or so above that level, but it looks like it may not have too much trouble continuing on, but from that high of June 30th, it is having a little bit of trouble. Now we're going to go back and talk about these in detail, but I'm just giving you kind of a little overview of what these pairs are doing. Now the next one we have here is the euro dollar, which has only almost tested the level. It's behind just a little bit. It's tested that level, and it's come off it pretty well, and it's it's kind of just hovering in that area. But it has not yet broken above, even by a single pip above the high. Everything made highs back here just about between the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd of June of this month. We saw that everything made their highs for the summer. So Australian dollars made a clean break. The pound has made a push through with a pullback, and the euro has not quite solidified this movement yet. It hasn't hit that high or broken through it or anything yet. So what that means that we've got to do is we've got to kind of sit and wait and see what happens. I think that I think this euro is going to give us a pretty good opportunity to get into a nice buy. We do have the weekly pivot very close right here. A lot of our moving averages are close by, so we just need to get the euro to push back up through some of these little medium-term levels right here. But I think there's a pretty good opportunity to get into some long positions. I think we're going to have a pretty nice test of that level, which is up there about the 143.30, and then ultimately I think that we may be seeing a break of that this week. One has broken, like I said, the Australian dollar broke, the pound dollar is breaking, and the euro dollar I think is sure to follow. So that's what we have to look at. Now, don't forget, on my video that I did post on Friday, one thing that we have seen on this euro that does make me just a little bit cautious of how long this movement's going to be is we've seen so many things happen in this euro dollar in 4 and 5 month increments. Well, 3 to 5 month increments actually. Uptrends for 3 to 5 months, downtrends for 3 to 5 months, and they don't seem to last too much longer. And this one has been within an uptrending channel for just about 5 months now, and it's breaking into, I believe, the 6th month here. So that makes me just a little bit cautious on how much movement we're going to be able to actually see out of this thing before a possible reversal or anything around there. So just keep your eyes on that. One big thing that I've been really following gold very tightly, very closely. we see that gold is it has rallied very nicely. It's right up here at about the almost the $960 range. It had a big day on Friday, 19 bucks that thing went up. That's great for one day. That's an amazing movement. We see that the Dow has broken its 9,000 mark pretty well, and the S&P is very strongly approaching that 1,000 mark as well. And if gold hits 1,000, whether it breaks it or not, if it hits 1,000, we'll see a lot of dollar weakness on the way up there. Analysts are thinking that, on the technical side of things, that gold may be making a big reverse head and shoulders, and that it's getting ready to head up to the $1,300 range, which definitely is not out of the question. And if that happens, we have the dollar index sitting at about 76, and gold's right here at that almost $1,000 range. If we see one or the other break quickly, we're just going to see, I would predict quite large movements in that area there. So just kind of keep your eye, look at the dollar index. I think it closed at 76, right around there, 76.0 even on Friday, right in that general area. So just kind of keep your eye on that. Keep your eye on gold. Look at the Dow, look at the S&P, and just the basics that we have there. So just keep your eyes peeled on that, but we've got lots of good movements here. I do think that we're probably going to see, as we get, we're pretty much in kind of that power hour of pre-London movement, which is usually pretty common to see some reversals. So let's just watch this market. We see that the euro is pulling back a little bit. Pound is probably doing just about the same. It's having, like we said, it's having a little bit of trouble breaking that upper area there that it's tested, and the Australian dollar is already up there. I think that the big focus really needs to be on the USD right now. Any dollar pairs will be pretty crucial to keep your eye on because the yens have had so much movement that I think they're kind of calming, and the dollar is kind of picking up, which means there's going to be plenty of yen movement coming up here. There's lots of news coming out of Japan, which is very important as well. But I think the dollar is going to be a big focus for the next little while, especially after the opening of kind of the real movement of the market after the summertime. This means that there's probably going to be a whole bunch of movement during the U.S. session, which we have seen very little activity in the U.S. session, most of it in the U.K. session. So we'll keep an eye on the New York Open of the market, where we'll see probably the majority of the movement. But the UK session's always good. Yen pairs will continue to move, so keep an eye on those. But I really am focusing mostly on the euro dollar, pound dollar, Australian dollar right now, and I think we'll have some very good movements in there. So keep your eyes on that. There's more to come, but really right now it's a bit of a sit and wait and just see what the see what gold can do, and just kind of watch these pairs here. But I do think that we have a very good opportunity to take some long positions off of this weekly pivot right here on the euro. I think this will be a very good area to get in with a stop just below that weekly pivot. Pound is kind of in that same type of position, so obviously we want to see things get up just a little bit further, but I think that we'll have some very nice trading opportunities on these few pairs: euro dollar, pound dollar, Australian dollar. And not to forget, last but not least here, the Canadian dollar should give us some interesting movement. It did already break the low of the same low that everything made, kind of that second third of June. It did break it, and it's kind of bouncing pretty heavily right at that 1.0750 to kind of 80 area. It's really bouncing around in there, so watch for a break of that. Definitely a break of 1.0750 should give us a pretty nice movement down. Oil is rallying. We see oil all the way back up to 70, and we saw it just down at 60 not too long ago. So that should add some good strength to the Canadian dollar. So dollar pairs are definitely my focus, at least for the immediate term. That could change later on this week or next week, but right now that's the one to look at. So we'll catch you guys on the chat. Good luck with everything, and we will see you all soon. Thanks.